Good. Right. All right. So first, can we start with your names and introduction by yourself, like which school you guys are going to? You like, sir?
Okay. My name is Gonzalo Martínez. We are students. I'm right now an economics major student in Universidad Catolica, Asunción. I'm doing right now, working on my thesis. So in July, I should be graduating. And
my name is Paolo Stagni. I'm 24 years old. July of 2021, I'm a major of economics from the also the Universidad Catolica. I think I'm very happy to share with you today.
Well, I'm Ignacio Rotela, also I'm 24 years old. I'm finishing civil engineering. Now I'm making my thesis, and well, that's us.
Nice. So let's first start with ReMango. How do you guys come up with the idea? Did you guys meet because of ReMango, or did you guys know each other before?
I think this is Paolo's.
Yes, I was the one that know Ignacio and know Gonzalo. They don't know each other, because we met in the university in different spaces that we are working together. The three of us, we used to really involve in different kind of activity, extracurricular from the university, and we really enjoy that. And we know each other from these spaces. And in the second semester of the 2020, with all the pandemic, we have the full prize in the university for the first time. And we listened to the presentation. We really was really excited to participate from this kind of competition. And I said to Gonzalo and Ignacio to make a team and participate. We don't have any idea at that moment, but the challenge of that year was food for good. We have to make a business idea related to the food industry. And we have like making a lot of night with brainstorming idea. And we thought about the mango here, because we know that that's a really problem for all the Paraguayan people. We not only fell in that problem, we also see that problem all the summer. So we know that there was a really important opportunity that we have to work hard to obtain an idea, but we know that that's the way that we have to go with the competition.
So it's because of the competition, and you guys knew already before, and that inspired you guys to start.
One funny part is that actually Paolo had a dream about the mangoes. I mean, we were in like, I don't know, maybe like 1 week or 2 weeks of brainstorming, and we didn't know what we were going to do. And he was sick of COVID. And one night he just had the dream. And when he recovered from COVID, he told us, guys, I know what we're going to do. We have to meet today, this night tonight. And we met at my house, and he told us, let's do something about mangoes. I mean, it's like the most obvious option. So let's make something about it.
Just because I remember that when I was a child, I used to go every summer, and I used to go like walking with my grandparents. And he also said to me that I have to bring a bag to collect the mango when we are walking in the street. And I think I remember that moment when I was women, and I said, that's the idea. We have to make a business around the mango, because we have a really abundant resources here, and there we have different parts of the world that they really pay for mango. Like, you know, if you go to the supermarket in USA, you pay a really lot of money to obtain a mango.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's a very local problem since all the time. And so how does that process of collecting the mangoes work? Is there a truck that goes around and collects it, or do people send them to you? Could you explain the logistics of that?
Sure. So, yeah, one of the main areas that is that makes ReMango work is the logistics part. So, how we are working is with different collectors. We articulate a collector network that basically we want to give an income opportunity to people that are basically in need. So what we're doing is we're going to launch a big marketing campaign. So saying that basically, okay, you bring us mango, and per kilo of mango, we're going to pay you X. It's still being defined the amount. So basically we are paying that these people to bring us this mango, and we're working on having different locations for them to bring them to. And yeah, basically it's going to work with, right now we don't have the resources to have a truck, but we're working with this, I wouldn't know how to say it in English. This, well, this motocarro, you know, yeah, exactly, the motorcycle, the truck with behind. So in order to have this logistics, but you know, we have the capacity to be working processing 2,000 kilos per day, and the idea is to have each day that amount brought to us, and that being kept. We have to refrigerate them so for the next day and process the whole thing.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see how you also give back to the community, so they can bring it to you, make money, but then you guys can also be recycling this stuff. And then what does that get turned into? What does the mangoes get turned into? I think it was a juice or something like that, right?
Yeah. Before answering what our products are, I just want to emphasize the part of the giving back to the community, the impact. So, you know, we are telling you that we participate in the whole prize, and the whole prize is a challenge, the biggest competition, the biggest social entrepreneurship competition in the world. So we not only had to make a business idea, but we had to make a business idea that had impact in the base of it. So we have basically we reduce food waste. Our mission is to reduce food waste in Latin America, and we also give this income opportunity to these people, as I was telling you. And well, we basically are cleaning the streets and gardens of people. And you know, the important thing is that it's embedded on our business model. So as we scale, our impact scales as well.
Right. Yeah, talking about the products. The last season, it was like our pilot phase season, like our first season. We had two products. We had mango pulp and also mango juice. Talking about the mango juice, it's like we commercialize the mango juice directly to the customer. We commercialize the pulp to companies that can use that pulp in like an ingredient in some kind of, I don't know, food or ice cream, I don't know, whatever. But now we are developing more options, more products, because we know we have an infinity quantity of, options with the mango. So it's like the last season we had two main products, but we are working to have more products in the next season.
Yeah, definitely, because even like the skin or the seed could be used for something else too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's the most of our produce is right now waste. So I mean, the pulp we get, it's around 40% of the fruit, and you know we're working with tons of fruit, so we got an important amount of waste right now that we're trying to allocate towards another product.
Right, and also fascinating talking about how it's so expensive in other countries. Right. And so it's amazing to see how here it's treated kind of like trash. I saw an article saying it's treated like trash. It's on the street, but you guys are turning this into a product that not only helps the community, but then it can also be sold and help more people. And so you guys were also talking about the whole price a lot. So could you explain what it is exactly? and how it has helped you guys in the whole journey? You've mentioned a little bit before, but how has it really helped you?
Yes, the whole prize is I think the most biggest social entrepreneurship competition that focus on students, university students, and it's also knew it like the Nobel Prize of students, the whole prize, and every year is different students of all around the world with like competing for $1 million seed capital, and this was participating in the whole prize was really the most challenging that we have for a team. We compete like locally first, but then we have to go outside of the world and know different cultures, know different problems from all around the world, and we have to make this idea really big. So I really encourage other students from Paraguay or the different places of the world that are hear this podcast, that go to the whole prize. Really is an experience that stronger the mindset about entrepreneurship and social impact.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I mean, a whole prize or not, it all starts, with an idea. And ours was a crazy idea to, I mean, when you think about it, is pick something that's on the ground that people could treat as trash and process it and sell it. And here it was ludicrous, the idea to be doing something like that. And when we went to London, we had a month or 5 weeks or so in business accelerator, startups accelerator. And for the first week or so, people just wouldn't believe us that the amount of mango that we were describing could possibly be being wasted. Because, I mean, we went to the United Kingdom and we were also talking to people all around the world. And mango is a very coveted fruit. I mean, just figuring out, and the idea has always to come from a problem. I identify a problem. In this case, we were identifying that we had thousands of tons of waste, and finding a solution to that. We changed our model, our product like 3 or 4 times already, but we are addressing the same problem. That is figuring out how to make something out of this waste, basically.
Yeah, and there's definitely, like there's a lot of variation, and we change. That's by the end, it really just helps the community and can sell the product worldwide. And so, what is the vision for ReMango in the next 5 years? Especially now with the whole class, how will this help you expand, and what are you guys trying to do?
Well, we have like the first stage of this all this process and all this projection. Initially, we're starting with Paraguay and only with mangoes. We have to like make the model perfect, and after that, we're going to scale the model with other fruits and other countries, not only mango. I mean, here in Paraguay, mango is the most obvious option. We have mango not only in Asunción, we have mango in like most of the oriental region of the country. So it's like the first stage is to like try to resolve this problem. And after that, we're going to expand and we're going to scale the model, the business model, to other fruits and other countries, because the interest part of this business model is that it's totally replicable. I mean, we can just copy and paste the same business model and change it to, I don't know, whatever we need. I mean, doesn't matter the fruit, doesn't matter the country, because it's the same problem. I mean, it's what ReMango does is ReMango connects the overabundance of the fruit, in this case, mango, with the people that are in need. So, I mean, you have these 2 variables in every country in the world. I mean, here is mango, maybe it can be other fruit. So it's like we can scale, it can be with apple or I don't know, whatever.
We have a comment from someone who's listening in that says, here in northern Buenos Aires, we have a lot of orange trees that drop fruit. It is not very sweet or edible. Do you think your model could work with those?
I mean, exactly. The reason is, well, mango here has a lot of fiber. That's why people don't usually pick it up and eat it. So we were told a lot that our business model was impossible, that we couldn't process it due to it's small, it doesn't have a lot of pulp. But I mean, that's why we don't sell it directly as fruit, because we know its characteristics and we try to exploit the characteristics and the qualities of each fruit. So I mean, the orange, maybe it's not as sweet or whatnot, but it can definitely be used as something else. I mean, just for mango itself, we're looking at products from the pulp, from the seed, from the skin, and even the fiber. So I mean, I'm sure something can be done out of it. Right now, I wouldn't be able to tell you, but something can definitely be done.
You have to be creative and a good researcher and find an answer to that orange.
Yeah, and what I think is amazing is the shelf life too. I imagine it's pretty long shelf life since it's now juice, because like you said, selling the mango itself would last maybe a couple of days, and that would have huge issues to import and export. That was made to so expensive in other countries. So it's amazing that you also make it something that can last much longer and help the community and all that. And so what has been the biggest obstacle? I think we talked about it a little bit, but apart from maybe the fruit itself, has there been other obstacles that you've learned from a lot of other challenges?
I think the logistics part was like the most challenging part for us, because we have some hypotheses that we managed, and we believe that the model would work in some way. I mean, in a specific way. But when we try to like execute that model, we discovered that it's not exactly as we thought. It wasn't exactly as we thought. So we had to like pivot, I mean, those variables, and find like an offer that it's attractive to the collectors. We got to like, it's like you just have to test and see what works and what doesn't work, and find the answer, like the most accurate answer. So I think the logistics part of the collection was the most challenging. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I think it still is the most challenging part.
Yeah.
I think it was like our biggest challenge shifted from depending on what stage you were talking to us. Like I mentioned before, the very beginnings of our project, of our business, I mean, people, our main challenge was to figure out how to process this fruit and how to make it sustainable, how to make it basically economically sustainable. And we had a lot of people telling us that it can be done, and we didn't even know how. We had to research machinery processes and how to, for example, what to do with fiber, how to extract it, what was the best way, and we had a lot of experimentation. But right now, I would say it's all the logistics part. I mean, it's a very informal market, the collectors, and we're also trying to, we have an objective, a mid to long-term objective of formalizing these people as well. But yeah, the short term is it's really hard to maintain I wouldn't say sustainable, but steady income from each of these collectors individually.
Right. And like you said, you were talking about how the process changed and how the business model, how that changed. So it's also interesting how when you have an idea and on paper, it's so much more different than actually applying it, because there's certain challenges you never thought of, like how to bring the vendors or stuff like that. And so what are you making plans now to expand to Paraguay or Brazil, Argentina, or countries like that too?
Yes, we learn to always think about global and not only in our country. And we still think that in the short term, we will focus in Paraguay. We have to make that this business model works every day better. And we are working in that. And in the long term, of course, like Ignacio said, we know that this kind of problem is everywhere. And we have to really know the business model to later replicate it in other places.
Right. And what would be a piece of advice you give out to other students who are going to work on, like all the students participating in LatinThinks, so you're working on very similar projects with our challenge students. What would you recommend, or what's the biggest piece of advice each of you guys would give them?
All right, so like each one of us, we say different
if you
advice.
say you guys.
I don't know if I could boil it down to a single advice, but definitely focus on a problem that you identify. Don't focus on a solution. I mean, don't try to fit a solution and make it work, because at the end of the day, the market is what defines what works and what not. But if you identify a problem, and you try a solution, maybe it's not the right solution, and it's no worries. I mean, and don't fall in love with your model, with your product. It most probably will change, and that's all right. It's fine. The important thing is to keep working on addressing and finding a solution for this real problem. Right. And in order to do that, I would say to also, it's very important to the team which you're working with, and the abilities that each of the team members have is very important to have different, to attract and cover different fields of, I don't know, from either finance to, it depends a lot on what you're doing. Yeah. Definitely be people that can complement your abilities. And yeah, I think to finish off, don't be afraid. Just, sometimes you gotta take a small leap of faith, and yeah, maybe you can, you'll go much farther and that you had originally imagined, and you'll achieve greater things that you could ever imagine.
Yeah, and like you said, there has to be a problem first. I think that's super important, because if it's a solution fixing something that people won't really need, they might end up using it, or getting an investor will be much harder because they don't see an actual problem there. Yes. And you're
right with that point. And I will say that my best advice would be that you have to test the idea the faster you go. You don't have to waste more time like thinking about if this is gonna work or not. You have to test. It's very important to research and having a paper on your idea, but the fastest you can, you have to test. For example, if you really don't know if that's a really problem for the society or not, the only answer is like testing. You have to test. You have to talk about your idea every time that you can, pitching your idea with all the person that you know that can help to you. You don't have to be afraid about that. And that's, I think, it's not gonna sound like very polite, but you also have to be obsessed with your work. And all the great things that you will achieve is the response of the effect of hard working, and you have to really want to make that. So I would say that you also have to be obsessed.
Right, so it's like preparing ahead, of course, but then also actually just doing it and going into it.
Yes.
And taking the leap of faith, as you said. And then I assume you guys all must love ReMango so much, so that's why you can also put so much into it, because you know what you're doing. And you will be.
I mean, actually, the first one I'm going to say is similar to what Paolo says. It's that do not overthink what you're doing. Sometimes you have to just take the first step, even if you don't know where your second step is going to be. The second, I mean, because you have to make a little progress every day. So you cannot pretend to have, I mean, a lot of progress every day, because it's impossible. It's not sustainable. You just have to like improve a little bit every day. The second one is you have to have really clear your core values, because that is what it's going to help you when the things are going bad. I mean, even though we have like a very small history, I mean, we have like a year and a half history with ReMango. We had like some difficult times, and we managed to go through those difficult times because we have very clear our core values. And the third one is trust your team and also respect your team, because we're friends. Obviously, we discuss and we fight, but at the end of the day, we respect each other. So that is very important, because if you don't respect your team, it's like you're going to like break up in some moment, and that is going to affect the solution of the problem we are going to fix. So for me, those are 3 recommendations.
Yeah, and like you said, it's always so unpredictable too. You don't know where you would end up. So by just getting out there and doing it, you really learn a lot. And I think the team is one of the most important things too. Like without the team, it could always change the product, but the team has to be great and something good will come out of that. Yeah. Any questions? That's it. I mean, thank you so much for coming, and I'd love to hear about your experience with ReMango and the whole prize and all that. Great. That's it. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.